Hi, this is Jen, and I put together some fun things for you to do in the garden in February. All right, let's start this. On February 2nd, I want you to seed some squash and cucumbers. I'm using a 40 cell tray, and I cannot wait to have fresh cucumber. On February 6th, add compost to your soil. So here I am lugging around some compost that I bought from the store because mine's not ready. We have these huge bins, and I just cannot wait to spread my own compost everywhere. So here they are. All my trees are taken care of, and I'm super excited. February 8th, let's add mulch. Man, I use mulch everywhere. I use it in walkways, I use it to cover my garden beds, and I use it as a weed barrier. I would highly encourage you to broker a deal with a tree service and get free mulch. On February 10th, remove dead branches to promote growth in that plant. February 12th is a great time to start planting cold weather veggies. I've been planting peas and beets, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and lettuce. All right, so here I'm planting beets, and I just love this variety with the circles. It just feels special. So I'm planting them now, and let's just pause. Let's look at the beet seed. It's just so cool. Look at it. It's gnarly. It's awesome. Love it. So I like to plant things in succession. So I have some that are growing up right now. I just planted seeds for some. I have medium and then large. Soon I'll be able to harvest that one. I can't wait. Another thing that I'm stepping up this year is labels. I want everything to be super organized, and I just bought a bunch of labels on Amazon, and I am making sure that my garden is labeled. February 14th is a great time to plant onions. So I spreaded some myself, and then I got some from the store, and I also have this fun square foot gardening guide, and it's really cool because it has a list of vegetables that correspond with the colors, and so all you do is poke the color of the vegetable that you want to plant. So onions were yellow, and now I'm perfectly spaced. So these store-bought onions fit perfectly into those little holes that I'm poking with this little pencil-like device, but my homemade onions need a bigger hole because I've sprouted them. So I have a dipper that is the exact hole that my sprouts are in. So I just make a hole and I pop those sprouts right in, and it's as easy as pie. February 16th is a great time to trim your roses. Now, I don't have any roses in my yard, so I thought I'd take you along to the Rose Emporium in Independence, Texas. It's such an amazing place, covered in roses. They really are the authority on roses. The whole place was covered in butterflies. They had this cool tree. I mean, it was just magical. February 18th is a great time to trim your fruit trees. So when you're trimming a fruit tree, you want to start off with the root stock here. You want to make sure that it's clear of the ground. The rule of thumb is to choose 3 to 5 branches, equally spaced, going out in different directions. I trim the center of my trees to keep them small. I have a small space and I can't have them getting very large. This tree is a peach tree, and so for stone fruit, you're going to want to trim like a bowl. You're also going to want to trim, you see this little bud right here, you're going to want to trim at a diagonal, and you're going to choose a bud that you like the direction that it's growing out in. So I like this direction of this bud. It has long been a tradition to plant potatoes on President's Day. So on February 20th, you plant potatoes. So first you want to look at the eyes of your seed potato. Those little things right there, those are eyes. Those are called eyes. And that's where the plant is going to grow out of. And you want, a few eyes per potato. So if you notice that one potato has several eyes, so you can get by with sometimes cutting them. So I was reading that some people cover their cut potatoes in sulfur. I've never done this, so I am going to run an experiment, the sulfur potatoes versus just plain cut potatoes, and see which plant is healthier, which plant produces more, and I'm really excited about this. Here I am planting the potatoes, and I am just going to alternate the sulfur potatoes with the non-sulfur potatoes. I also have some potatoes that I saved from last year that I'm using, and so that's fun too. February 24th is a great time to plant ground covers. I love walking on a path and looking at the little flowers in between rocks. So I went to the store and I got some creeping thyme and some oregano, and I can't wait until these fill in my path. Really, this next bit of advice could be taken at any time, and that is to educate yourself. I love reading books, and one of my favorites is this Korean gardening book. It is full of wonderful ideas. Another great one is Rosemary Gladstar's Herbal Recipes. And lastly, I have How to Grow a Little Fruit Tree. I read that one a few times. That certainly helps with the pruning. Some books I used for reference, and so this one, the Saving Seeds, I look things up in a lot, and the Propagating Plants one helps out. I would also recommend that you find a good guide. This Texas Gardener Guide is great, and it's not just for Texans. And here is the guide that I started with way back in the day. It's just really important that you find something local that talks about your area. Another way that I educate myself is through YouTube videos. They are completely free and I've learned so much. This one is Charles Dowding, and he has been growing plants his whole life and is a master gardener. Another one that I like to watch is the Weedy Gardener, and he is from Australia, and he was a National Geographic photographer, and his videos are beautiful. And then another one I have for you is James Prigioni. He's up in New York, and he talks a lot about food forests, and he inspired me to start my own. Alright, so that was it for February. So I hope you learned a little something and you got inspired to garden. I would love to hear from you guys, so if you comment below, I'll respond, and happy gardening.